Hello Limitless ladies, my name is Jane Jones for those who don't know me, and I'm a resilience expert and the leader of this group. Now I am late coming to this event, so apologies for that, those that are expecting to be here on time. I had a major coughing fit just before I came on, so fingers crossed, because I forgot to bring my water with me, fingers crossed it's not going to happen again. So touch wood and all that, which I don't really believe in, but still. Right, let's get cracking, because I don't want to waste any more time. Today's event, live training, is about how to conquer your resistance and fear. Now I've got my notes in front of me, to the side of me, so if I look to the side you'll know what I'm doing. So I want to get straight into it. Resistance and fear. Whether you're an entrepreneur or not, and for those of you who are new to an entrepreneurialhood, if you want to call it that, you will have remembered what fear and resistance felt like in your day-to-day life anyway. So being an entrepreneur, it can exacerbate it because there's more eyes on you, and you're putting yourself out there in the world. So they get exacerbated, they get exaggerated, they become more intense, if you like. And you can feel to a point where you're going to snap. Now, I've got some elastic bands to demonstrate this, not that I needed to, but I like little gadgets and things. So you can see, I brought a red one, I thought you could see it better. Here's what I want to start with. Before I go into the difference between resistance and fear, I wanted to explain it in a more visual term of what it means. When you get up in the morning, or just before you get up in the morning, and whether you've had a good night's sleep or whether you haven't, if you've got children, or even if you haven't, if you've not been feeling too well or it's just been a bit restless, you know what it can feel like when you wake up in the morning. Hi Lucinda, bless you for joining me. You know what it can feel like when you wake up in the morning. If you've had a good night's sleep, you can feel, imagine this is, it's like a metaphor, this is you, right? Nice and relaxed, you know, you've had a good night's sleep, you know, and you're just waking up, you're just opening your eyes, and you're stretching in bed, and you're nice and relaxed, okay? Imagine if you haven't had a good night's sleep, and I know Lucinda will understand what I mean by this, because you mentioned before about sleep problems. That's you if you're relaxed. If you wake up and you didn't have a good night's sleep, or you've had things on your mind from the night before, you will feel tension. If you don't do anything with that level of tension, that level of resistance, and we're talking about resistance and fear, it won't stay like that. It will increase simply because you didn't do anything about it to start with. Now, if you wake up or you didn't get any sleep, it's so important to get yourself back to a state where you're more calm, more relaxed and more focused. Because resistance and fear is going to come up if you're an entrepreneur. Anyway, it's one of those things. Well, if you're not an entrepreneur, it's going to come up. So obviously it's going to come up if you're working for yourself. So things that people do, you've heard about these things: meditating, visualization, journaling, going for a walk. These aren't just big. I feel or think that because you hear about them all the time, that we're sort of, okay, I could go for a walk, I could do this, I could do that. But you don't do it. If you don't, you will be stretched. The resistance you're feeling to things you want to do in your business, the things you want to do in your life, will be exacerbated. And the resistance and fear will intensify until, and if I kept stretching this, it would snap. I'm not going to do it because that could hurt. But you see where I'm going. We need to do things throughout our day to release some of that tension. Okay? And I wanted to demonstrate the elastic band because I like the visual effects, and it can help with the understanding, and it stays in your mind. Now, I don't know if I'm seeing comments. I don't know if I'm seeing hearts. So I'm sure you may have commented by now, Lucinda, but I'm just not seeing comments, unfortunately. Really, really unfortunate, because I wanted to communicate with people that join me, but never mind, I'll persevere. So you get the idea and the importance of self-care. You hear it all the time, but it's so important. As demonstrated with that elastic band, it's what happens with your stress levels, it's what happens within your body, and it's not healthy. So please do something, find something that helps you to relax, to unwind and release some of that tension you're feeling. because any resistance and fear you do have in your life, from your work or from your personal life, will only stretch you further. So that's out the way, so to speak, so you got the understanding. The main difference between resistance and fear. Now I'm going to look at my notes because I've been thrown a bit, because as I mentioned a bit earlier, Lucinda, I had a coughing fit before I came on, so hence I'm late. And it's thrown me a bit, so I'm going to rely a bit more heavily, I think, on my notes, just so I don't miss anything. Resistance is what you resist persists. That's you know, may have heard that before. What you resist persists, but it resists. You feel the resistance because you're moving forward. You've come out of your comfort zone, because when you start feeling resistance and fear, you're outside of that comfort zone. That place where you didn't know that you weren't pushing yourself. You weren't, you know, especially you were working, for instance, on your program, and you may have come up with some resistance then. But when you're about to launch your program and go into that launch mode, the resistance is tenfold. The resistance comes forward like a blast out of nowhere, and it can really throw you off guard. But know that resistance is growth. You've come to the end of your comfort zone. I hope the internet's okay. I saw it freeze down. You've come to the end of your comfort zone, and now you're in a state of growth. And growth is important, as you know, for us as human beings, but more importantly for us as entrepreneurs. So what you resist persists, but it's actually because you're growing. Okay, it's growing, and I will go a little bit more into this, but I just want to give you an outline. Now, I said I was going to give you 3 steps. Let me just explain fear first of all. See, I told you I'll be off track. Let me explain fear. Fear can stop you. Fear stops you in your tracks. If you like, fear is a pause button. Okay, and you either move forward, or you never go back. You can never. I know this people might say you can go back, and I think I mentioned it before, but you don't actually go back, because what you've learned, what you've gained in knowledge, what you've gained on insights, you're never going to go back to where you were. You're always going to be, you know, wherever you've grown in confidence, you've grown in your personality, become more yourself and own who you are. You're always going to have that. But when you are in a state of fear, fear can freeze you. Fear can stop you in your tracks, where you're neither moving forward and you've hit that pause button. But just like resistance, like I just explained, resistance persists because you're in a state of growth. Fear and resistance are not bad things. I am an advocate of every emotion you feel, every emotion, whether you can class it as good or bad. I don't see good and bad, because they exist for a reason. They exist because you need to approach them, you need to embrace them, you need to explore them and learn the insight and wisdom they have for you. And that's why you experience them. They're never a bad thing. Yes, you need to have the support, whether you're going to work with someone like myself, or whether you're going to talk to a friend, if that you know, if it's not something mild, and you can talk to a friend or someone that'll support you. You need to reach out. Whatever you're doing, you need to reach out. So resistance and fear, any emotions, are not bad. They are not bad things to feel. So please, when you feel them, you feel resistance and you feel fear, don't feel that you have to run away. It's a time to embrace, to accept that they're there, and grow through them. Not avoid them, grow through them. Now I want to share these 3 steps with you. Step 1 of conquering your resistance and fear. Step 1 is see it for what it is and nothing more than it is. Okay, you've heard that phrase before, some of you maybe. But how often do we forget that to see things as they are and nothing more? Every emotion, every feeling you have came from the seed of a thought. But sometimes we're more aware of, or most times we're more aware of the feelings we have. That, you know, the tingling of nerves, or the feeling of overwhelm. I mean, I know what overwhelm feels like, and anxiety. The feeling of fear, where it just swamps over you and it envelopes you in its darkness, And I know that it can feel quite frightening. But what you resist persists. And it's not just in resistance, but in fear. If you're fearing something and you want to push it to one side, it will exacerbate. Even if you do manage to forget about it, push it under the carpet and get out the way, it can, and more times than not, it will come back tenfold. So you may as well deal with it now and grow through it and learn from it and be at peace with it's there, something to learn from, something to explore, and not on your own, with someone, whether that's working with a mindset expert such as myself or someone else. It doesn't have to be me, or it could be talking to a friend, anything. Get it out there, share it. So see for what it is, nothing more than what it is. It's a thought. It's a thought. And these thoughts that we have, I've got no confidence, I'm scared, I don't think I can do this. It's your body and your mind's way working together, saying there's something not connecting, there's something misaligned, and you need to talk, you need to go through it, you need to embrace it and not be afraid of it. And it's easier said than done. And then that's probably what you're thinking. Easier said than done, Jane. Or is it? If right now you listen to this, and let's say that you are having a fear or a resistance thought, and that thought, let's just say that your thought right now is, I don't feel I'm good enough to have the success I want. If that's your thought, share in the comments if you wish. Share with me what the emotions, what the feelings will come up from that. If you were thinking, oh, I don't feel good enough, that I can't have the success I want, so I'm just not good enough, I don't know enough, who's going to listen to me, sort of thing. What emotions do you think will come from that? Yes, fear and resistance, but what else? Maybe shame, maybe guilt, maybe overwhelm. You see how it exaggerates itself, it exacerbates. But if you were going to look at it in the sense of, and I hope I don't repeat myself here because I'm going straight into it, but if you look at it as an embracing it and you say, okay, I'm scared, I don't feel like I'm good enough to have what I want and go after the success I want, I don't feel like I can actually have it, that I'm not worthy. Attach, don't try to get rid of that thought, bear with it. It's fueling you, it's saying to you basically, you need to embrace your gifts, you need to own your worth, you need to understand that you are alive, and the very fact you're alive and on this journey means you have got something very important to share. Very important to share. That is what those thoughts are basically saying to you. They're trying to get out of you the goodness that is there, the understanding that you have got this. And that's where they're coming up. That's why they're kind of slapping you in the face and saying, okay, you're not good enough, you're not worthy. For you to own your own, to come home to yourself is what I talk about. Come home to yourself and own the fact that you have every right to be where you are, doing what you're doing, having the ambitions you have, the insights, and having a bigger vision, that the impact you want to make in the world. You have every right to have that, and every right to make that your reality. That's why you haven't run and hid, and you're still in the online world, and you've still got these ideas and visions, and why you're feeling this resistance and fear. So while you're thinking that, add a thought, add another thought to it. So not to the resistance and the kind of, if you want to put negative thought as a bad thing, just add something else to it that's more nurturing. Okay. For instance, if the thought, like I say, is I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. How about you add to it, I don't feel, or I don't think I'm good enough and worthy to have the success I want, but. Now what comes after that but is going to be empowering for you, it's going to be nurturing for you. So what could you say to add some love back to yourself? Because you're hating on yourself when you're having these not so nurturing thoughts. So what can you add to that? Where you can add to it, I don't think I'm good enough to have the success I want, and to do what I want to do in the world, but I will continue on the journey because I will prove to myself that I can do this. You see how you turn it around? It is so powerful. So whenever you have these, I feel guilty, for instance, I feel shame, own it, embrace it, because then you'll take it on and you'll draw out the insights and the wisdom and the nurturing side of it's like a it's not a double-edged sword. I can't think of the phrase. When it's slapping you across the face and you're feeling these having these horrible thoughts that are not feeling nurturing, that they're so feel very destructive, they're there to empower you. They're there to lift you and make you stand up and shake you up and say, look, you're having these thoughts, but that's all they are, thoughts. Okay? You're on a journey and you're here in the entrepreneurial world because you have gifts. So add the but, I feel guilty because, and say to yourself what you feel guilty about. You can journal it if you want to. I feel guilty because, I know, I'm not spending as much time with my children as I want to. But I can change this around and make it work for me. Let go of the how you're going to do it. Just make that statement, because your brain will work for you, and it will help you come up with ideas and ways that you can spend more time with your children and grow your business. And you're not going to be stretched to the point of no return, because you will find a way. Okay? See it for what it is and nothing more than it is. Step number 2, I hope I've not repeated some of these too early, but step number 2 is celebrate your growth. Now, I've touched this already. Celebrate your growth. Celebrate that you're outside your comfort zone. Because before you got to the point where you're having feeling this resistance and having this fear, you're in a state of, if you like, easy street. Okay? And I'm sure it didn't feel very easy, but you're in a state of easy street. You were just playing with the idea of writing a program. You were toying with the thought of going live. You were thinking about you'd like to collaborate with someone. But the moment you go to reach out, the moment you put pen to paper and you seriously get down with it and you're going to write this program, and the resistance and the fear comes up, celebrate it. Because you have just stepped outside your comfort zone and you are in a state of growth. You're always in a state of growth, but you don't always realise it. It's when you take the bigger steps, okay? The things you've not done before and you've seen other people do, and you're thinking, I can't do that, I'm just Jane, You've stepped outside that comfort zone. So celebrate your growth. Now I'm going to quick look at my notes so I don't miss anything out. Up till now, you've been going through the motions. Okay, you've been going through the motions of what you want to be doing in the world. Now, I'm sure you've made some steps. You may already have a program out there and have clients. But what it is you're doing that's causing this fear and resistance is because you were in easy street. You were going through the motions of up-leveling. And now you've hit that point, like I say, you're stepping inside your comfort zone. And you're now in a state of taking the action to make it a reality. And boy, does that feel scary. But when you feel fear, and you maybe get tinglings in your stomach, and you may feel sort of overwhelmed in your head, because I'm all about connecting the emotions to where it is in your body, because then you can just release it. Okay, so you have overwhelm in your head. That's what I tend to feel, overwhelmed in my head, and you can link it to the growth. I've lost my thought now because I've got a passion about it again. So you're going to the point of taking action. That's right. You're taking action, and now you're going to make it a reality. You're going to put out there. If you believe in universe, so no, that's fine. I just simply say you're going to put it out there into the world. You're going to speak out. You're going to say, I would love to collaborate with you. I would love to do a joint live with you. Reach out. Okay, I'm doing this program. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it to yourself. So many, I mean, even this group as well. So many people put posts out, you know, people's in entrepreneurs who have got groups, and they say, share with us your wins, share with us the things you're looking forward to. Write in that post that you are creating a program. Write in that post that you are going to be reaching out to someone to do a collaboration. Write it, put it out there. Put it out there. It may seem scary, but if you're in this online space, it's growth. It's not fear. It's not resistance. Even though it feels that way, it feels like a resistance, and it feels like fear, which is freezing you. But the moment you step out and you write, it's writing, it's words. It's just words. Type it out. I am going to be doing da 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 da. Put it out there. And you know, all that tension, all that emotion, all that anxiousness you had, I can near enough promise you it will just melt away. And you will be celebrating, which is step number 2. You will be celebrating your growth. Get it out there. Number 3, get support. Now, yes, I've just touched on this about celebrating. I am overlapping these a little. Get support. Share your resistance and your fear, and share your resistance and fear. Share your thoughts and feelings that are coming up for you. Like I say, in this group and in other groups, even if you want to do a post and say, I'm feeling a little resistance because I am doing X, Y, and Z, and I would love to know what your thoughts are on how you came through it, how you come through it. Type it up in this post, in this group. Type it up in another group. People love people, and they will support. I will support you. Other people will support you. So, step number 3 is get support. Share your resistance and fears, and your thoughts and feelings that are coming up for you. Share it in a way that you want to move forward. Because if you don't want to move forward, it won't have the same. You'll know if you want to move forward because you'll be sharing. If you're sharing it, you do want to move forward. People are drawn to you, and they will help you, and they will support you. And the same as in this group, I've got your back, and that's what these 3 trainings this week are all about. So when you keep it to yourself, when you're keeping your feelings about resistance and your thoughts about resistance to yourself, they are exaggerating. They are expanding. They are filling. It's almost a feeling of filling your body and your mind, and you feel swamped by it until you go to do something else that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, a little bit new to you, and overwhelm will strike. Or you'll feel more fear about doing something that before you felt easy. Perhaps it's going live, and before it felt easier, but now you're feeling that overwhelm, that tension in your chest, or that overwhelm it's coming up and over your head, that overwhelm. It will come up because you're not owning it, and by owning it, you're not sharing it, and you're not celebrating the fact it's come up and it's growth and it's okay. These 3 steps are so important to help you move forward and conquer your resistance and fear. I didn't write the word conquer your resistance and fear to draw you in to listen. I said conquer your resistance and fear, these 3 steps, because it works. It works, but you need to apply it. Now, it's not a demand. You don't need to, as in you have to. But these things can, for instance, step number 1, see it for what it is, not more than what it is. It's an easy step. These are 3 very easy steps. And if you apply them, you will conquer your resistance and fear. I'm not saying you won't feel it, but you'll learn from why it exists. You'll embrace it, and you'll grow through it, and it will lift you higher. And that's what I'm all about. Lifting you higher through using your challenging thoughts and feelings as an elixir to create your success. That is what I do. And these 3 easy steps, because I'm not on about, I don't do complex, I don't do complicated. Okay, these are 3 easy steps that will move you forward. So share how you're feeling. Share what you're going through, because people are there to support you, and so am I, and so is this group. If you listen to this, share. If it's coming up for you, type it in the comments. I will always get back to you. So I'm going to go over these 3 steps. Step number 1 is see for what it is and nothing more than it is. It's a thought in your head that is telling you you've stepped outside your comfort zone and you are and you are moving forward. That's it. That's it. Resistance and fear is a thought or a few thoughts in your head that are basically there because you've stepped outside your comfort zone. So congratulations to you. If you're feeling resistance and fear, congratulations to you, because you've now stepped outside your comfort zone and you are well on your way to making that impact in the world and an impact on your life and in who you are and your growth. So see for what it is, nothing more than what it is. Number 2, I've just touched on it, is celebrate your growth, which I've just done with you. So if you're feeling resistance and fear, like I said, congratulations. Right? You have stepped outside your comfort zone and you're well on your way. Okay? Step number 3, get support. Share your resistance and fear. Not just in this group with me and the lovely ladies in here, but in other groups as well. Share what you're going through. Share what's coming up for you. And if you get an opportunity, if you want to collaborate, if you want to, you want to write a program or a new program, and you get a chance to on a post, share it. Say, I'm about to be, putting launching, or I'm about to write a new program, and I'm really scared and really excited at the same time. And share it. Share the journey. People will welcome it. People will welcome your honesty for yourself. They will resonate with you so much because you're not alone. You're not alone. There's so many other people who welcome the fact that somebody's opening up and saying, look, this is what I'm going through. You go, you know what, Lucinda's going through this and Jane's going through that, and my goodness, that's how I feel. And you get talking and it gets so much easier. Okay, so those are my 3 easy steps. I was a bit put off because I had a coughing fit before, but hopefully you've got a lot from this live, because that's what I want to give you. These 3 trainings to give you a taste of what this group is about, a taste of what I'm about, and what I'm capable of, a taste or a sample of what I'm capable of helping you with. So you can make your mind up whether this is a group for you, and to get you on board with growing this community. To getting this community something powerful, something rewarding for you, to help you move forward, to make that impact in the world and get you where you want to be. Okay? So Wednesday's training will be at 4:30 again. Hopefully it's a good time for people, because it's the time. I had to keep them all at the same time so everyone would know where I'm coming from. So Wednesday's event is going to be 3 steps to empower your confidence and courage. 3 steps to empower your confidence and courage. You know what confidence is, you know what courage is, you know that with resistance and fear, and this whole thing is about helping you to rise to your innate power. That's what this is all about, helping you to rise up to your innate power. So we've touched on resistance and fear, and we're going to be touching on empowering you to rise up to get that confidence and courage from within you outward and working for you. We're going to bring it to the surface, okay? Get you moving forward and taking that all inspired action. So thank you, Lucinda, for joining me. I don't know if you're still here. I can see that it's telling me you're here, but I don't know what Facebook's doing. So hopefully this has helped. Join me Wednesday. I'll be here 4:30 p.m. and hopefully no coughing fits or anything, and I will see you then for 3 steps to empower your confidence and courage. I'm Jane Jones, and I got this message for you. Remember, you and your gifts are needed in this world. So go after the life you want, because it's waiting for you. Mwah.